Well, howdy folks, welcome back to another Bass 66 Chevelle video here. And down here on my land here. Anyway, for some reason or another, I got to looking back on my videos and I'm not sure why no one is able to leave a comment. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I've tried to change that because I want people to be able to leave comments. So, I don't know, maybe somebody can help me with that. But I'm going to look more into that. For some reason, Google or something is not letting me make it so I can leave comments. But anyway, I'm going to look into that on future videos here. I don't know if it's something to do with maybe music or something in the background or something like that. But anyway, we're going to make this update video here. And this is my C10, as you can see. And this is the one I'm getting ready to put that 350 roller motor in, and this 305 here, it's about had it. So we're going to put that in here, and hopefully it'll be a lot better. But this 305 here, it's about seen its days here, and it's weird because I'm not sure if the intake gaskets are leaking internally or if the head gaskets are blown on one side. It's this side. That side seems fine. But anyway, we do have a slight amount of, never mind, you can see it right there, of a milkshake kind of look. And what's crazy about it, there's a little bit right there. The crazy thing about it, I mean, it's never overheated. I've never had overheating issues or anything. It's just, this motor's been in here since March of 2017. And, you know, as a quick, long story short, it had a 350 in it before. It was a 73 350, the short block was, with double hump heads. And long story short, is bored 60 over. The crank was turned, I want to say 10 thousandths under. I can't remember for sure. I still have the pistons and the connecting rods to it. I'll have to mic them just to figure out for sure. But anyway, I saved all the bottom end. I saved the crank and all that, and I threw the block away in one of the heads, and then ended up selling the intake. But anyway, I bought this the 305 here for $200 down in Elkton, and because the guy said it was rebuilt, quote unquote, just to put something in here because I had to get this truck going again. And I was driving it with the 350 that was in it. I just kept babying it until it, you know, I ended up finding another replacement for it. Well, quote unquote replacement. So I found this and put it in it. Well, anyway, this motor's got a few issues with it, even when I bought it, but it's always burned just a slight little bit of oil, but now it's got really horrible. But it's weird because it's not coming out the tailpipes back there. So, I mean, it's not. I thought it was leaking out of the rear main at first, but it's not. So I put that oil pan on it and a new rear main seal in it, and it's burning like crazy. But I cannot figure it out. It's never overheated since it's been in here. Never has. So, anyway, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if the intake gaskets on the back are leaking internally or either leaking up here on the front, and that's what's causing the coolant to mix with the oil. That would be the one thing I would think of. Or if one of the head gaskets, possibly on this side, could be blown or corroded maybe a little bit. Or it could be maybe the head bolts were not torqued down properly and they just, you know, they torqued them down enough to, quote unquote there, to where it would run, and then I guess just running over time, you know, it's just lost its, what you call, torque, we'll call that. But anyway, I don't know if that's the problem where the head bolts were just not torqued right or what, but anyway, I mean, it still runs good, it does. Believe it or not, it still runs good, but, you know, it's using oil like crazy. Every time I go to work or something, I'm going through like probably a quart, maybe a quart and maybe not quite a half, but almost a day. And it's just getting too much, and that's why I parked this thing for now a couple days ago. And I've been trying to baby it and babying it, and you know, I want to keep this thing where I can still run it if I actually, you know, really need to. So anyway, we're going to pull this thing out of here. We're going to put that roller 350 in it, and it's already set up for a factory roller. So only thing I need is the retainer for the cam, so the cam won't have the in play like that. It'll keep the cam like supposed to be against the block. They got about a little retainer that goes behind the cam, behind our tummy cover here. But I got to get that, and then we're going to keep our long water pump set up. We're going to retain that, but we're going to run, it's actually a TBI 350 roller block or 5.7, same thing. But we're going to put double hump heads back on here because that's what was on here before, and that's what I liked. I mean, I know that's not really original to the truck because in '68, that's when they actually went to these 3 accessory holes here. But, and of course, they made the PCV valve on it too. That's not original, but that's when they went to that, from what I can tell. But anyway, I'm going to get that short block there. I'm going to put a roller cam and all in it, and I'm going to put double humps on it. I can't find no videos on it, but I'm trying to make it look like a retro, you know, 327, I guess you would call it, but not really. But I'm still, like I said, and I've always said, eventually I'm going to make this thing full drive like I want. And I am going to put a 454 in it. I do have a 402 big block I can put in it. But probably end up putting that together eventually. But eventually my dream is I want to put a 454 in it. I like to find a 454 roller, factory roller block. And put a turbo 400 in it. And make it full drive. And then I want to restore the AC back on it as well. This will be probably one of the only vehicles that I actually plan on restoring the AC back on. But because I'm going to have the factory power brakes, power steering, and then I want to restore the AC back on this. And just make it full drive, and then have a 454 4-volt main that's a factory roller. That's my dream. And a turbo 400. But anyway, to get back to this here, for now, you know, that's just a dream. But for now, we got to keep this thing going. And I'm going to pull this thing out of here. I'm going to take and get a kit here soon. Because I'm not taking that block to the machine shop. I don't have that kind of money for that. I'm just going to clean it up and iron it out really light. And then I'm just going to throw it together. Because I got a set of double hump heads that they put all new exhaust seats in it. And I'm going to double check all the valves and make sure, you know, the guides are still tight and all. But, you know, I'm sure they're hardened seats. So, because all the exhaust seats were replaced, I'm going to take them to a machine shop, get them to confirm that for sure. But that'll be nice. So we're going to keep all this same setup here, and then we got a little slightly different setup for this alternator brackets here. But really this one we could keep. This one doesn't matter. It does not require accessory holes as it bolts on the water pump down here and then it bolts on an intake there. There are actually some that go a little bit longer that bolt to the water neck. Those would work. But anyway, we're going to do away with this upper bracket and this lower bracket here so we can eliminate this bolt here. For our accessory holes, I did finally order that. They're called the Fuelie. It's for a long water pump Fuelie alternator bracket, I guess you would call it. But we got our power steering set up, so we're not using any accessory holes right there, none at all. It uses the 2 at the bottom that go into the block there. But other than that, which that reminds me, I better check that real quick. Can't remember if that block is set up for that. It should be. But that roller block I'm putting in it is set up for a mechanical fuel pump, which is the #1 reason why I bought it. And then the other, well, really #2 reason. The main reason was because it's a roller. But I finally got my Durango back on the road, thank God. I'll show that in just a second. But let me double check here. I think it does have it. Can't remember. Can't tell. Yeah, it looks like it does. And it does. It has these 2 bolt holes on the block here. If we look at our block here, it does have them. So we're in good shape. It actually has both of them. It has the one here, the one there, and the 2 on this side. So that's good. So we're in good shape there. Alright, but finally got her done here. Got a new radiator in it. That was a job. And I got the water pump on it. I got a shorter belt. I got a new fan clutch. I got a new water neck right there. New upper radiator hose. New lower radiator hose. And a little thanks out there to the one guy on YouTube. I forget what his name is. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have this back on the road. But I want to thank him for this part number for the belt here. and it is 5070875, and it fits just beautifully. And I ended up getting a little slightly different belt. This is through O'Reilly's there, but I'll list that part number here. But this belt, the 5070875, this cross reference over to it, and it fits beautifully. As you can see, it bypassed the AC just perfect. But it runs a lot better. We got the heat back in it now. The only thing I really didn't get a chance to do is replace this heater hose here that goes around, which I will do that. But got a new radiator and everything on it, and did away with all the AC stuff, and it runs a whole lot better now. A whole lot better. That was a long journey. And it finally come to an end. Thank goodness. But since it's the roller 350 here, I flipped it upside down so it wouldn't get water all up in it. But I got to get this thing apart there. If y'all need a shorter belt and you want to bypass your AC and all, don't buy that junk pulley they make at AutoZone or O'Reilly's. They make a bypass pulley, quote unquote again. Don't buy that thing because they're really junk. It's so much better just to run a shorter belt. Just run you a shorter belt. You'll be just fine. Even if you leave the AC compressor on there, you still got plenty of room. But yeah, here it is right here. This is for O'Reilly's again. But it would be, the one guy on YouTube, it was, instead of a K, it was 5070895. This one is K070896. But that is the alternative part number for it though. So 5070895 is one part number, and this is the other here if you need it. And you can actually cross-reference it over to like the AutoZone or another local parts place if you need to. But I actually have a brand new tensioner too. I got to put on it yet. But I ordered a brand new tensioner for it, and because the one that's on there still works fine. But that belt fits just fine. I mean, didn't have any trouble getting it on there, but as you can see, this one's a little smoother. But I went ahead and bought that. Haven't put that on there yet because I bought a new coil pack for it. There's an old Dr. Pepper bottle there. But there we go. But anyway, here's a radiator box. Here's the part number for that radiator if y'all need it. Help y'all out. One of them, you got to make sure it doesn't have the engine oil cooler on it. So I guess they had a oil cooler for the engine on it to help cool the oil off or something on it. I know the Chevrolets had it too, but this is the part number. This one didn't have it. But it's P1905. So should be the part number. There's another one. Y'all can see that. Let me hold it up here. There you go. That's an F right there. CP0NRF020319. And it wasn't that expensive. They don't make radiators that good anymore. This is our original, and that's our culprit right there. I'm going to clear up. There we go. That's our culprit right there. And these are the new transmission tubes. I had to put these back on, but I didn't have the special fitting there to pop them off. So, I still got a few small things to do yet. Make sure when you put that one down there on the bottom there, put this top one on first, then put that one on, and then put your fan guard on, because I ended up putting the lines on first and I tried to put the fan guard on, and I had that much gap down here. It was bolted at the top and on the other side, but then I had that much gap because the bottom line there for the transmission cooler was in the way, so I had to undo all that to fix that right. But anyway, and I had to replace our timing cover here because it was split. This bolt hole here, and I went ahead. Our pulley's still good. I put a new seal in it. This is our pulley. There's nothing wrong with our pulley. Our new one comes with a pulley on it. I replaced our balancer for two reasons, not really because of this rubber seal around it, but that everybody else don't really think of, and that is this right here. But that's that right there. Come on, focus. There we go. That's that groove. As you can see, they wear a groove around them, so that's why I replaced that as well. And I went ahead and replaced our timing cover seal after I replaced the timing cover on it because of that. Thought about going in there and heli cooling it because it's not cracked all the way through, but I don't know yet. These timing covers are expensive. It's like buying gold. I ended up buying a good used one off eBay, sight unseen. It was just a listing. No pictures whatsoever because, like I said, nobody knows how to take pictures and how to sell something anymore. They don't take pictures of, the front, and, they don't flip it over and take one in the back or the sides, or, they don't know how to take, pictures anymore. They really don't. They don't even take one like at the top or one of the threads, to make sure you're not buying something and it look okay, and then you find out the threads are screwed up. But anyway, so I got lucky on that. There was nothing wrong with it, thank goodness. Here's our old timing chain here. It was our timing chain, and they're so nice. They slip right off. But make sure when you line them up, I had it almost screwed that up because I didn't have it lined up right, and I didn't rotate the motor over. But I went to put our new one on, and then the way I had it lined up, I didn't have them clocked right. And it has two marks on it. There's a straight mark right here. You can see right in there, it's a straight mark. And then the correct mark is right here. There's a dot. So make sure they're lined up dot to dot. One goes at 6 o'clock, the other, which is on here, on the bottom right here, they have to line up just like this. So you have to make sure they are lined up correctly, dot to dot, dot to dot. Because both of them have two different marks. There's a mark right there, and there's another mark up here. Where was it? I just showed y'all. There it is. Don't line them two marks up, because then you'll be way off. That's what I did. It's so covered in grease and everything, I couldn't figure it out. And I didn't rotate the motor or nothing over, but I got to clean it up. I was like, I don't like the way that's set. So I ended up cleaning it up, and then found them dots on there. And I had it 180 degrees out too, because I had to crank the motor over to get it